What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Master Duel Ninja deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because Ninja's just got an amazing structure deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, giving us all sorts of crazy support. This deck is an extremely fun deck to play with and a really powerful deck to be able to use in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, even getting to request a deck profile, everything among your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. This card is a definite 3 of in the deck and is one of the best summons in the entire deck. That when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 ninjutsu art card from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect to be able to add cards like Duplication or Dancing Leaves directly from your deck to your hand off this card's ability. It also has a really cool effect that when this card is flip summoned or special summoned, you can add 1 ninja monster from your deck to your hand except another copy of this card, and this card is actually not a once per turn, so as many times as you can summon this card to your side of the field, you get searches, which is so cool about this card. We then play 3 copies of Mitsu. Mitsu is really good as an extender and is also a walking negate in this deck, which is crazy that you have a main deck walking negate that's actually searchable in this build. This card is a definite 3 of the deck and is one of the best cards in the entire build. We then play 3 copies of Tobari. Tobari is really good as a 3 of as well. This card is actually a walking polymerization, which is great to help us summon out our boss monsters from our X deck. This card is a definite 3 of in the build. We then play a single copy of Baku. Baku is really good because if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. And if it's special summoned or flip face up, you can target a ninja or a ninjutsu art card in your graveyard or that's face up in the spell and trap card zone except this card and return it to your hand, which is a great ability to be able to recycle some of your cards. We then play a single copy of Kagero. Kagero is a pretty good summon in this deck as well, but you only really need a single copy of Kagero. But this card is great just to extend your plays, because if this card is normal summoned, you can, or special summoned or flip face up, you can special summon 1 ninja monster from your hand or grave and face down defense position except another copy of this card, which is a really good effect just to instantly get you another ninja on your side of the field. This card is just a really good 1 of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Green Ninja. Green Ninja is really good in this deck as a 1 of. I did actually consider playing this card as a 2 of in the build, but it's really good in this particular deck because if a monster is special summoned to your field face up, except during the damage step, you can target 1 of them and special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that monster to face down defense position. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave, you can target 1 monster on the field and change it to face up attack position or face down defense position, which is a great effect to be able to use with a bunch of our ninja boss monsters. We then play a single copy of Jogan. Jogan the Gravity Ninja is really good because this card is basically like a walking floodgate trap hole and is super easy to summon in this deck. It has the ability that if this card is normal, special, or flip face up, you can target up to 2 face up monsters on the field and change them to face down defense position. And if you do, and any of those monsters are your opponents that were flipped by this effect, or changed by this card's ability, they cannot change their position, which is a really cool ability to basically just flip them face down and they can't move. And if a monster on the field is flipped face up, while this monster is face up on your side of the field, you can actually target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great effect to be able to use with this card. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's a great hand trap, basically just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. This card is a great hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and is definitely a 3 of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Max C. This card is at 3 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and is definitely a 3 of in the deck just to be able to help you draw cards, because every time your opponent special summons, after you discard this card to the graveyard, you're going to get to draw a card, which is a really crazy effect. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda is really good to add some of our ninjas from our deck to our hand, especially Hanzo. We then play a single copy of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is currently at 1 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so this card is a really good 1-up in the deck, especially since our extra deck is just really toolbox, and this card comes in really handy to dig into the deck. We then play a single copy of Tenchi Kamea. This card is great as a 1-up field spell in this particular build because this card is always treated as a ninjutsu art card, so it is searchable off of Hanzo's effect, which is a great effect. And this card is a really cool ability that when a ninja monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a really cool ability, especially to combo with your copy of Mizan, so that you can attack directly with Mizan and your other ninjas and then pop cards on the field, which is a great effect for this card to have. It also has the ability, if this face-up card in its owner's field spell zone has left the field because of an opponent's card effect and is now in the graveyard or banished, you can target any number of ninja monsters with different names in the graveyard and special summon them in face-down defense position, essentially letting you swarm the field, which is such a cool ability about this card. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really good to stop our opponent from hand trapping us with cards like Maxi, Ash Blossom, and even Impermanence in this build. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a 2-of in the deck, basically just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of the ninjutsu art tool Iron. This card is a great equip spell to be able to use in this deck because the equipped monster gains 500 attack and is also treated as a ninja monster while equipped with this card, which is a great effect to be able to use so that you can attack directly with that monster using Mizan's effect, which is so cool. Being able to equip this card to cards like Boral Sword basically just OTKs your opponent while you have your copy of Mizan on the field because you can attack with Mizan, then attack with Boral Sword directly because this turns it into a ninja, and then once you do, you can use your copy of Boral Sword to switch Mizan to defense position and then swing again directly with your copy of Boral Sword doing an OTK, which is so cool about this card. This card also has a really cool ability that you can banish one ninja monster from your graveyard and then target a card on the field and destroy it. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished ninja monsters and add it to your hand or special summon it in face down defense position, which is a great effect just to be able to use this card to replace some of your cards. We then play 3 copies of Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. Notebook of Mystery is really good as a 3-of in the deck. It's one of the most powerful cards in the entire build, because if your opponent controls a card, any card, you can set up to 1 ninja monster and up to 1 ninjutsu art spell or trap, except another copy of this card, and these cards come from your deck and or graveyard, but one must come from each if you're going to use it, which is a great effect to be able to use. I love this card as a 3-of in the deck because it just helps you get so many pluses and gets the exact cards you need on your side of the field. It also has the ability, if this set card on the field is sent to the grave, then you can target a face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position, which is great to be able to use this card almost like a Book of Moon. Speaking of Book of Moon, we do play 3 copies of Book of Moon, because Book of Moon works really well for us and also works really well against our opponent to be able to flip their monsters into face-down defense position. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with a single copy of Ninjutsu Art of Duplication. Duplication is really good as a 1-of in the deck and lets you tribute a ninja monster and then special summon any number of ninja monsters from your deck and face-up attack or face-down defense position with a combined level or less than or equal to the monster that you tributed. So for example, if you tribute a copy of Hanzo for this card's ability, you can special summon ninjas from your deck that equal level 4. So I can summon out like 2 copies of Tobari and a single copy of Mitsu, which is insane to be able to just swarm the field with this card. It's an amazing 1-of in the deck that you can recycle over and over again. We then play 3 copies of Dancing Leaves. Dancing Leaves is a definite 3-of in the build, and this card comes in really handy in the deck because you activate this card by targeting a ninja monster or a face-down defense position monster on the field, and you tribute it, which is great because you can also tribute your opponent's face-down cards, which is really good. Then, if you do, you special summon a ninja monster from your deck, which is a really cool effect to be able to use with your copy of Yugioh to instantly get Yugioh on the field, which is such a cool ability about this card. This card comes in so handy in the deck. It also has the ability that when this card leaves the field, send the monster to the graveyard summoned by this card, and also you can target one ninjutsu art continuous spell or trap card in your spell and trap card zone and return it back to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to recycle your copy of Dancing Leaves and your copy of Duplication with this card's ability. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is a definite 3-of in the deck because this card is great at stopping your opponent's monster effects and also sending this card to your side of the field to lock down entire columns of spells and traps. A card I did consider playing instead of this though was Book of Eclipse. You can play 3 copies of Book of Eclipse instead of Impermanence if you want to, but I feel like right now Impermanence is really powerful, but in the future I might change this card out for Book of Eclipse. So that's going to do it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 3 copies of our main boss monster, Mizan the Battle Ninja. This card is a crazy, powerful boss monster that has a really cool ability that you don't even have to use polymerization to make this card, but you can summon it off of Tobari's effect, which is really cool. It does take 2 ninja monsters with different types, which we have plenty of different types in the deck. Your copy of Mitsu is an insect, Tobari is a winged beast, Hanzo is a warrior, your copy of Yugioh is a copy of a rock monster, Baku's a beast. Like, you have so many different types of ninjas in the deck, it makes it so easy to summon this card, but you don't have to use polymerization to summon out this card. And while this card is on your side of the field, ninja monsters you control can attack directly, which is a really awesome effect. And then while you control a face down defensive monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can special summon a ninja monster from your deck and face up attack or face down defense position, which is a crazy powerful effect just to be able to get monsters on your side of the field with this card's ability. This card is a definite 3-of in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Yagedamaru. Yagedamaru is really good as a 3-of in this build because this card basically says if it's summoned to your side of the field, you banish one other ninja or ninjutsu or card from your hand or grave or face up from field and then target a card on the field and banish it, which is a really cool ability. And you can summon this card the same way that you summon out your copy of Mizan by just treating 2 ninjas on your side of the field that are different attributes, making it very easy to summon this card out to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Ultimate Great Insect. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck because it's super easy to summon to your side of the field, because basically while you control a field spell on your side of the field, you can tribute 1 insect monster equipped with a equip spell or with that's also has 2,000 offense points, which your copy of Mitsu actually is, to be able to summon out this card. This card also cannot be destroyed by battle, and once returned during the battle phase, if there is a card in the field spell zone, quick effect, you can destroy all monsters that your opponent controls, which is a crazy powerful effect. I love that about this card, just to instantly get this card on the field, and it's so easy to summon by just having an insect on the field with 2,000 or more defense equipped with an equip card. It's just so crazy easy to summon. We then play a single copy of Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor Ninja is really good as a 1-of in the deck because this lets a ninja attack twice, which is a really cool ability to use with this card to help you OTK your opponent. We then play a single copy of Sky Cavalry. Sky Cavalry is great because you can easily make this card and it helps you actually make Zeus. We then play a single copy of Downer Magician. Downer Magician is to overlay on top of your copy of Sky Cavalry so you can get additional material under your copy of Zeus. We play a single copy of Zeus because this card is great at board wiping the field, and it's very easy to make your copy of Sky Cavalry in this build, then make your copy of Downer, and then finally Zeus to OTK by board wiping the field and just going in for game. We then play a single copy of Boral Sword Dragon. Speaking of OTKs, this card is really good in the deck because it's very easy to turn this card into a ninja by equipping your copy of Iron Tool to this card and basically turning it into a ninja so it can attack directly when you have Mizan on your side of the field. This card is an OTK machine and is definitely a 1-of in this build, and it's probably the best boss monster to summon out of your extract besides your copy of Mizan. We then play 2 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Saizo. Saizo is really good as a 2-of in this build, and it has a great ability that during your main phase, you can set a ninjutsu art spell or trap directly from your deck, which is an every turn effect, which is just so cool. And then while this card points to a monsters, this card cannot be targeted for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects either, which is a great ability. We then finally play a single copy of Cross Sheep because we do fusion summon in the deck, and this card is just super powerful because it helps you bring back your cards from the graveyard, because if you summon a fusion monster to this card's zone, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, which is a great effect to be able to use, especially since we summon out cards like Yagami and Mizan, which is so cool about this card. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played ninjas before, now is the perfect time to be able to play them because of the new structure deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, making it a very easy deck to pick up, and it's just such a fun deck to be able to play. I absolutely love ninjas, and it's a deck I've been playing a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel recently. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.